You're watching Shani Speaks Now.
What's good, beautiful people? It's your girl Shani here, your little big sis, because I might be small in stature, but I'm big on the sisterly love. And I'm so glad that you all are here with me for another Friday, for Always Keep the Faith Fridays. I don't know what these swirly hands are, but maybe it's me celebrating the fact that we're going into a weekend. But as you know, each Friday that I do my best to give you a little gem, a little motivation, a little inspiration to get you from your work week to your Friday and going into your weekend. Faith fam, what's up? What it do? How y'all doing? Thank you all so much for being subscribed and for continuing to watch and support. And if you are not a part of the Faith fam, then I would love for you to join me. And if it's your first time watching, welcome. Be sure that you hit that subscribe button, like and share this episode. And we can also connect on social media at Shani Speaks Now. So that is it for the intro. Dun dun dun, let's get into it. Now, y'all, I don't know what it is, but as I get older, and maybe it's because I am looking forward to being a parent myself one day, but I miss my grandparents. None of my grandparents are here with me any longer, on my mom's side or my dad's side, and I had really great grandparents. I think I'm looking forward to my parents being grandparents so that they can have that experience because of the experiences that I had with my grandparents. But one of my grandparents in particular, which is the one that I got to spend the longest time with, is my grandfather on my mom's side, my mom's dad. We affectionately called him Gramps or Pops, but his name was Barrington Davis, and he is just one of the funniest and best men, and he always had some of the most amazing little sayings that he used to say. So today I'm going to share with you one of the sayings that he always said: destiny is destiny, and what I believe that he meant by that, and share you a little bit about his life and legacy and how even in the simplicity of things we can gain a lot of wisdom and be able to pass it on for other generations. All right, hopefully this one doesn't make you all tear up. I don't think it will. He was a funny guy, so this should be a fun episode. All right, stay tuned and let's get into it. So I don't know whether it's because I'm getting older and being able to appreciate family and legacy even more, or if it's just, I don't know, just having moments to reminisce. I have a huge family on both sides, both with my mom and my dad, and tons of cousins, aunts and uncles, even though some of them are no longer here with us. And I've just always enjoyed my family a lot. It was fun growing up for me. And I've recently had a lot of time to catch up with cousins and to catch up with family. And of course, when you're in those moments, it has you reminiscing a little bit. One of my favorite people of all time was my grandfather, Barrington Davis, who lived to be 93 years old. My family's from Jamaica, for those of you that don't know, if I've never shared that before. Both of my parents are from Jamaica, and my grandparents are from Jamaica on both sides. So it's definitely something that is deeply in my blood. And my 93-year-old grandfather was a trip all of my life. But the thing that I loved about him the most is he always had these wise things to say. And at the end of the day, when I really think about his life, he had the simplest life ever. In Jamaica, however, he was the man. He was very much into his community. He cared for people. He was a boss. He was a manager. We joke about him having so many jobs, from being a manager to a barber to a boxer, but he got into everything, and he was always there trying to help everyone and help them be able to have opportunities as well. And when he moved from Jamaica to Florida, it was somewhat the same thing, but he also had tons of family that he helped to raise and help take care of. And me and my siblings were one of those recipients, as I can remember very fond summers with him when I was younger, and even going into my 20s when I finally lost him in 2009 when he went home to be with the Lord. But when I think about his life, the things that I remember the most about my grandfather is, one, when he lived in Florida, he didn't have a license or a car. He never owned a car. My grandfather used to ride a bicycle, and I remember him sometimes, before he got a little too old to be able to do that, riding his bike to the supermarket. It had a basket on the front, a very masculine basket, and coming back with tons of fruits that he would have bought and put in that basket and brought back for us. But he never owned a car, and somehow that man never lacked being able to get a ride and be able to get wherever he wanted to go. And I know this because I was a person who would pick him up frequently and and take him to get ice cream or take him with me to different little adventures around the city in St. Pete, Florida, where I grew up, or where I was raised, I should say, because I was born in New York. And it was so much fun. Also, I don't know if my grandfather had an actual bank account. He literally used to have money. Now, my grandmother did, his wife, but I know he always had money in a pocket somewhere, and he always had some money lingering, even though he was always begging for money. In fact, you can't see the shirt fully. I'll probably have insert a picture of it, but it says, "Beg you some breeze," and that is something he used to say to us. He used to ask for money, but he called it breeze. And my sister actually came up with the idea of these shirts, and my brother illustrated it in his honor. But he was just a funny guy. And one of the things that I loved about him is that even though he didn't necessarily know everything that was going on with culture, he didn't necessarily keep up with the fashion and things of the times. Sometimes he didn't even know who was the president or who was in office. He wasn't big on politics unless it was the politics in Jamaica, because his heart was always there. But he always knew essentially what was going on and always had wise words to say. One of the things that he always used to say, whether he was happy, whether he was sad, whether he was trying to get people to understand what was going on, whether there was a family argument or whether there was a family reunion, is destiny is destiny. He said it all the time. He said it so much that it became like the laughing thing that we used to laugh at, because he used to always say it. He had a lot of sayings like that. But as I grow up and as I live life, I realized that even though that was something so simple, I understand even more so what it really means when he said destiny is destiny. Now, the word destiny, for most people, is a pretty familiar word. You hear it all the time, whether people say that they were destined to do something, destined to fall in love, destined to have this career, destined to be who they're supposed to be, or you know, I know a couple girls named Destiny. I know one in particular who I love very much. She's like a little sis to me. So destiny is a word that kind of is thrown around a lot. The definition of destiny is something to which a person or thing is destined or fortune, or a predetermined course of events that often held to be an irresistible power or agency. Essentially, something that is just meant to happen. So anytime that my grandfather used to say, destiny is destiny, as simple as it is, I think that he truly understood that at the end of the day, all we can do is all that we can do. We only have so much power. And then after that, we have to leave it up to God, and we have to leave it up to faith. A lot of the things that happen to us in life, some of them are just gonna happen. Some of them are just destined to happen, and we don't always control it or don't even understand it sometimes. I know specifically in this year of 2022, there's some things that have happened in my life that were destined for me, whether I wanted them to happen or not, but I'm learning to grow through them and to be able to come out of them and learn from them if they were difficult things, or I'm able to use them to my benefit if they were things that were able to kind of boost me in some way, shape, or form. I love that my grandfather, who was such a loving person, who loved to dance, who loved his grandchildren, who loved to cheer us on, who was always there for us in any way that he could, that he understood that at the end of the day, destiny really is destiny. That we really just have to walk out each day, day by day, and that we can only allow to happen what's gonna happen. I am so grateful that I had the time that I had with my grandfather, that I had a chance to have him from the time I was a baby all the way into my early 20s, and I miss him and my other grandparents so much. So for those of you who still have your grandparents or great grandparents around, or great aunties or whoever, love on them, hug on them, get as much wisdom, put up with any craziness that they may do from time to time, or any craziness that they may say, because you don't know how long you'll have them, and once they're no longer here, you'll definitely miss them. But also be sure that you hang on to the words of wisdom that they give, and that you hold on to their legacy, and that you continue to talk about them and share about them any chance that you get. I know that recently I've had some losses that have taken place in my family, and when those people are gone, there's nothing that you can do. You don't get any more time. So hang on to those people and love them for as long and as hard as you possibly can. So what's this week's faith fact? Have plans, set goals, but always make room for destiny. There's nothing wrong with wanting to know who you're gonna be or wanting to know what you're gonna do in the next 5 years or 10 years or whatever the case may be. But ultimately, there are some things that may happen to us in life that we do not have any control over. It's just our destiny for it to happen. So for those things, try not to stress yourself, try not to worry. And as I say that to you, trust and believe I am saying it to me because I've had to remind myself of that. And I'm so glad that I was able to remember those words from my grandfather, that destiny is destiny. What I'm gonna be, what's gonna happen to me and my family is gonna be, and it'll be exactly how God planned it to be. So I hope if you needed a word like that today, that this is encouraging to you. Well, that is it, you guys, for this week's episode. And I hope that you all have a great, great weekend ahead. For all of you who have not joined the Faith Fam, please be sure that you subscribe into my Faith Fam. I love you all. Thank you all so much for continuing to watch and to support my channel because I am trying to get to that 1,000 and beyond number. Well, guys, that's it. I am done. Finito, outside of the motto. You know how we end every episode. Always keep the faith and let the Lord fight your battles. Until next time, take care. I love y'all. Peace. Thanks for watching, Faith Fam. Be sure to subscribe, share, and like this episode. And I'll see you back on my channel soon.